Hi, this is Michael Buffer, and you're listening to the voice of the people. Let's get ready for Boxing Voice.
BoxingVoice.com.
What broke him down? Was it just the body punching? When I was hitting him with body punching, I heard him actually, he was crying in there. You're saying that Gibbs was crying when you hit him? Yes. When did that happen? And perhaps the fourth round on.
BoxingVoice.com.
So you knew you had him by that time. Absolutely, but I knew he was touching and taking those punches.
Deeply Aussie production.
Making women's gestures.
Let's go, champ. This the champ. Keep saying the champ. With the same champ. It was how they could go. BoxingVoice.com. I'm a team like he's a C+ fighter. I'm a Dominic, I'm a dog fighter. I'm talking about punch. We're gonna punch you for 12 rounds. Either the referee says you had enough, or you can say you had enough. You can stay your ass there all night until you ain't had enough.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to TBV. Basically in the morning for those on the West Coast. Over here on the East, it's the afternoon, bringing you a nice heavyweight edition episode. The heavyweight division seems to be heating up, to say the least. Every week seems like we got a new headline. Dominic Breazeale, past opponent of Anthony Joshua, coming off of that big loss to Anthony Joshua, will now face a previous opponent of Deontay Wilder. Heavyweight division, man. It's a division that all casual fans are in love with. They easily garner attention. Big men equal big knockouts. So we're going to talk a little bit about this fight. It is official, and it's landing on the Deontay Wilder undercard, which is shaping up to be a pretty decent card. Triple header of all heavyweights. Travis Kaufman versus Amir Mansour is also on the undercard. So PBC doing a good one here with the triple header. But let's head on over to the Sunshine State so we can get the good doctor's prognosis on this good fight. Boxing MD, what's going on, brother? I know you want to sit in on this. We're going to head on over to the Sunshine State. Boxing MD, what's going on?
Is that a fair statement to make? You have to be honest with yourself.
Well, on paper, this is a good fight. It might not be the greatest fight in, I guess, actuality, because I think Dominic Breazeale often doesn't let his hands go. But, Dominic Breazeale will be facing the #1 Polish heavyweight on earth, while Deontay Wilder's facing the #2. So it's kind of weird, isn't it?
Man, I knew he'd find a way to bring some negativity to the topic. But listen, at least you're saying that it's a good fight. That being said, Breazeale is now coming off of this Anthony Joshua fight. He hadn't fought since June the 25th out there in the UK. It's the big stage. So he's obviously been here before. Now, Szpilka has also been there, right? He had his opportunity at a version of the heavyweight title, and he knows how to sell a fight. I mean, you've seen how animated he was in the build-up to the Wilder fight. I'm hoping from, then and now he's picked up a little bit more English. But stylistically, what do you like about this style matchup?
Well, I think Szpilka will be the fighter pushing the action. He was definitely talking shit going into the Wilder fight, and he definitely fought in the Wilder fight like he wanted to win. Where in Breazeale, when he went over to the UK to fight AJ, I didn't really get that from him.
No, I totally agree. But I like Szpilka's mentality. You're right. I think he will be making the fight. But I think that Dominic Breazeale has something to prove. Now, that could be his attitude, his demeanor. He seemed to have that, talk the talk attitude in the Anthony Joshua fight. Do you think, obviously, there was the discrepancy there in skill? So do we see a more competitive fight? Do we see a better version of Breazeale? Did he learn something with Joshua, or Joshua only being 18 fights? Is there anything really that he can learn from him, or, is it more about skill and not the amount of fights?
Yeah, I mean, I think both guys are going to look different against each other than they did against Szpilka and Wilder, and obviously AJ and Breazeale, because they're fighting, you know, I would say, wouldn't you, it's fair to say that these guys are about on the same level. Maybe Szpilka has a little more accomplishments to put him above, but like,
yeah, it's a pretty evenly matched fight, which again keeps ringing in my head. The article, the videos that are floating around with Andre Berto saying that Al Heyman gave everyone a call and said that everyone's being matched tough. This isn't what someone say, you know, necessarily tough, but it isn't easy.
Yeah, like I mean, it's kind of off-putting hearing somebody in their organization admit that they didn't match their fighters tough before, right?
Well, no, what he's admitting, MD, Mr. Negative, is that this
Mr. Negative, that's Mr. Observation. You're Mr. Propaganda, but continue.
Well, what he's saying is that this year everyone will be in tough, no ifs, ands, or buts.
Okay.
That's the word.
Right. Yeah. And tough in the sense that both guy has an opportunity to win or lose in this fight, right? Like I see this fight going the way in which I think the action, like I said, will be pushed by Artur Szpilka, but Dominic Breazeale, I think, has an eraser, and I could see him, you know, dropping him or catching him later. So I think it'll be an okay fight, but it's a good fight as far as I guess the winner gets projected back in the upper echelon, right?
Yeah. Now, Breazeale has shown to be a bit chinny, and Szpilka in the Wilder fight showed that with his, you know, even though he's a bit smaller than Breazeale, who is 6'7", and Szpilka 6'3", he was able to get in on Wilder and land some shots. Now, we seen Amir Mansour give Breazeale all that he could handle, who was also a smaller man who looped the hook a lot, and that's what Szpilka does. That was the money punch that landed. That right hand landed a few times on Wilder. This is going to be an interesting fight. And like you said, because the level of skill is more evenly matched, I'm intrigued.
Yeah, I would say the difference is that Mansour probably is more physical and hits harder than Szpilka. Szpilka obviously is more skilled, right? So it'll look different. I just think that Artur Szpilka has also been outboxed too by Brian Jennings. So but I don't know. Like I feel like if Dominic Breazeale properly loses his height, he has the advantage because he shows signs that he's athletic. It just doesn't look to me that boxing comes so natural to him, right? Do you feel the same way that he sometimes seems uncomfortable where he positions himself?
You mean Breazeale?
Yes.
I mean, I want to say it's the opposition. When he was uncomfortable, it was Joshua throwing punches at him. And when he was uncomfortable, it was Mansour, who everyone knows has, you know, knockout power no matter the age. The last thing to go is the power. And Mansour has been demonstrating.
Okay, so and what about Fred Cassie, too? Because he looked very unimpressive in that fight.
Fred Cassie. Well, you're right. There's not much power to speak of in Cassie. Maybe he's just a tentative fighter. I think that he is more defensive minded and off his mind, and that's why I agree with you. The Szpilka will be the one to lead in this fight.
Yeah, to push the pace. Yeah, and you know, you guys can push that thumbs up button too for this afternoon/morning show. It's really appreciated.
Now, we spoke about the toughness, but both of these guys are coming off of pretty devastating losses, right? Like either knockout, because Wilder's is definitely a knockout candidate of the year, if not knockout of the year, versus Szpilka. And you know what Joshua did to Breazeale, you know, he sent him home pretty hurt. So
yeah, so both visited the hospital after their fights.
Well, there you go. I didn't know that small fact. I know that.
Well, Szpilka for sure went to the hospital.
Yeah, Szpilka for sure, because we've seen the pictures. I don't know about Breazeale. I know that Breazeale was hurt looking. You know, his face was a bit deformed. So
he took some sustained beatings, and I think Breazeale comes off as a guy, and obviously you don't want to get hit, but he comes off as a guy who doesn't really take well to getting punched. And I think Szpilka, will be less weary of each other's punches. Because Szpilka went out, like, in that fight, he wasn't deterred from Deontay's power until the weigh-in, right? He still kept coming on. He just got caught, obviously, and Deontay has that knockout power.
You're right. This is why I'm intrigued about this fight. He was never once scared of Wilder, regardless of the danger, the perception of the bronze bomber, it didn't matter. He kept pushing the pace against Wilder. So, you know, I know that he'll do it versus Breazeale, who isn't Wilder in terms of punch placement or activity for that matter. So again, very intriguing fight to round out the card. A triple header of heavyweights. And then again, the heavyweight division, it just keeps moving. Ever since we lost those titles, Tyson Fury did. Yeah, man, things have slowly gotten more interesting. Let me get to some of these callers. We're gonna go out to New York City, 718. You're live on TBV. Who's this? Where you calling from? Well, obviously New York, but what part of New York anyway?
Hello?
Yes, sir. You're live. Who's this? Suleiman?
Yeah, this is Suleiman.
Suleiman, you got like 4 numbers, huh?
Yeah. So yeah, so I'm calling. You know, I'm happy that Liam is back. You know, he's a top contender.
What?
You know, I hope.
Well, Suleiman, we're actually talking about the Breazeale-Szpilka fight. That's the one we're talking about.
Yeah, I know the Breazeale-Szpilka. I'm gonna get back to it too. The Breazeale is very big. He tends to be a little lethargic. He's a stationary target. I don't know what kind of training they're giving this guy. He's big. He's young. He should be learning movement, something like what Klitschko learned at the beginning of his career, so he could stop getting tagged like that. Because when he fought, he had the opportunity of a lifetime to fight a lucky opportunity to fight a world champion, and he got pummeled. I mean, he didn't pose much of a threat. The power wasn't an issue at all. So I think it's gonna happen if you.
Yo, Suleiman, speak up a little bit.
Artur Szpilka, which I consider one of the top contenders in the heavyweight division right now, Artur Szpilka. He was taught movement. He was hurt several times. He was knocked out by a world-class fighter, a world-class champion, but he showed movement that prolonged the fight. He was able to give trouble to a high-class opponent like how you call Deontay Wilder. So if he brings that kind of game, he brings that kind of ability in this fight, it's a wrap for Dominic Breazeale. Breazeale's gonna have to tag something, start throwing his hands, start using movement, stop loading up, use combination punching. I don't know why they're not using the double end bag or the mix to use combination punching, because if you tag the guy with a one.
Yo, Suleiman, is double M bag your favorite type of training piece? Like, you're the biggest fan of the double M bag? Because each time I hear you criticizing a fighter's fundamentals, I think you always go to the double M bag, right?
Yeah, because a double M bag makes you sweat. It creates combination, and a lot of guys avoid it. I've been in the boxing gym and I see them. They hate the double M bag. You have to use combination punching. Most of the guys like to pose, load up shots. It's like a country club nowadays, the boxing gym.
Suleiman,
into the prize fight.
Suleiman, that actually, damn, your time's running out, but I'm gonna give you a few more seconds because I wanted to ask you something up. That was actually funny that it's like a country club now in the boxing gym. I wanted to ask which fighter do you?
Now, go ahead now, Les. Let him. I want to hear this. Why is it a country club, Suleiman?
Suleiman, he said, why is it a country club?
It's a country club because the guys are coming in. They control only the trainers. They tell the trainer what they want. They like a Sao Canelo Alvarez. Sao Canelo Alvarez handpicks his opponents. Okay, he handpicks his opponents. You could see it. If he fought a fluid boxer like a Demetrius Andrade, he would have knocked out.
Suleiman, focus on like the gyms itself. Are you talking about the mentality of the fighter, or are you talking about gym culture as a whole?
Jose Cotto, the smaller brother of Miguel Cotto, gave him problems.
All right, Ness, can we?
He would have won the fight.
Suleiman, listen, I want to ask you one final question. Which fighter do you think has more left in the tank? You know, they both suffered devastating knockouts. Who has more left?
Okay, who had more in the beginning? Artur Szpilka. He had a little more in the beginning of his career. He was a game fighter. He lasted many rounds with a world-class fighter, a world-class champion. He has much more in the tank to start with, and much more left than the Dominic Breazeale. Dominic Breazeale was his side.
Suleiman, you seem to be breaking up, but thanks. That's exactly what I wanted to know. He feels Szpilka. Do you feel Szpilka has more left in the tank? Which beatdown was worse? Normally people say, you know, you'd rather be knocked out cold than to sustain multiple punches. So whose was worse? Was it Joshua beating on Breazeale worse than, you know, Wilder's one punch knockout of Szpilka?
I would say like Szpilka probably took worse impact from that punch, but the sustained beating by Breazeale may have a bigger impact. But I think the big difference is that Artur Szpilka is for sure in shape. He always looks in shape. He's an athlete. Like, he looks like an athlete. I know Breazeale has the basketball background, but he's a little softer around the waist. And I don't know, like, I feel like heavyweights that are like that last less long. So I don't know. He's taken more punishment over the years, I would say, Breazeale, especially because he doesn't look like a fight guy who wants to take punishment. Like someone like
you say over the years when his career just started.
I know, but you saw how he reacted in the Mansour fight, where
you're right. I mean, and especially compared to a guy like Joshua, who was in the same Olympic class. You know, Mansour put hands on him, and then Joshua put hands on him. So you're right about him. So, you know,
and unless sometimes a lot of these fighters, especially in the heavyweight division, unless they grow up like, you know, from a child, especially through the teenage years, used to getting hit, it's like sometimes it's a hard, you know, thing to acquire being in the gym later. I mean, becoming a boxer later, right? It's not as natural to be able to withstand that.
To, some of these callers here, I want to say 786. That always feels like Puerto Rico to me. Where you think this is? 786. Where you're calling in from? Who's this?
South Florida.
South Florida.
Hurricane Ray, what's going on?
Hurricane Ray, what's up? No producer, man. How you doing? How's Florida out there? What's the weather like?
Man, it's like a cool 60 degrees.
Nice.
So we're having a good time out here, man.
How you feeling about this heavyweight division, this matchup right here?
Oh, man, it's definitely developing, man. I think next year we're going to have some great fights. I favor Artur Szpilka in this fight. I think he's the more skilled fighter. Definitely, he could box. He was actually close on the scorecards when he was fighting Wilder, and you know, before Wilder landed that devastating punch, he was actually maybe, I think maybe even up. So, man, I think Dominic Breazeale, he has a lot to prove. He's still a young fighter, Olympic gold medalist, like you just mentioned. But I think Artur Szpilka got this, though.
Well, not Olympic gold.
I want to tell you guys,
not Olympic gold, but he's an Olympian.
Medalist.
No, not a medalist either, right? He didn't even medal up. You know, he's an Olympic. He made it there. He made it there. I don't think he didn't take home bronze.
I thought he won a medal for some reason.
Did he take? I don't know. MD.
I thought he was.
Check that, MD. Did he win bronze? I don't know.
No medals.
Yeah, I don't think any male bro.
There was a gap in medals for men between Deontay Wilder and Shakur Stevenson. So nobody won a medal between them.
Hey, man, check this out, man. Hey, yo, MD, man, I never get to really say anything to you, man, but keep defending Triple G, man. Don't back down from Ness, man. He always trying to get you on that there, man, but don't back down, man. I think you make some solid points when it comes to defending Triple G and what his record stands for, and what he's been doing in the weight division, man. Don't back down. I got your back here, man. But basically, happy New Year, guys. I hope that you have a prosperous New Year for the Boxing Voice and for each individually host on the show. So that's all I wanted to say. I'm gonna keep calling. It's been a wonderful year, guys.
Thanks, man. And Ness knows the people are behind me, so you know I'll never back down. The people.
I mean, it's just interesting that you guys choose words like defend.
Well, because the people, you know, you attack.
I don't know.
You attack the
Let's
people.
get out to Dono in Richmond. Always has time for some TBV. Donald, what's going on?
What's up? Hey, I like this matchup. I think this is a good fight for Dominic Breazeale because I know who Dominic Breazeale is. My friend Gerald actually trains with him and stuff. And so I think that, I mean, I don't know. I can't really say that he'll win the fight, but I can say that he could possibly win the fight if he gets in there and he lets his hands go. Let's see what he learned from the beatdown from Dominic Breazeale, because sometimes you got fighters that go in and they take a beatdown like how he did from Joshua. And then he might have learned, hey, when you get in there, you better let your hands go. You better get in there. You better try to maneuver. You know, he might have went into the gym and tried to get himself a little bit more in shape. He might have cut a little bit of weight now. We don't know. We might be surprised. Dominic Breazeale might come out and he might not look so soft in the waist anymore. And when he gets out there, he might not keep standing there holding his guard up, and he might actually get out there and let his hands go.
Donald,
But
that's a lot of wishing, man. You know how many mites you said in that?
Except Donald, letting your hands go has nothing to do with being in shape. It has to do with being able to have the natural reflexes to engage and defend yourself.
I know, but I said that he could. I know, but I said that he could be, you know, getting himself in more shape, and he could be. He might not look so softer on the waist when he comes in. I don't know. I haven't seen any of the training that he's doing, but you know, like I said, I mean, when you look at people who lose, and then sometimes they progress or they decline. Just as Canelo is a good example. I mean, Canelo learned a lot from his loss to Mayweather, and just like the other guy was saying, you know, I feel like Canelo, he handpicks his opponents because he learned, like, now you should pick who you know you could really be versus going in there and going up against something that you possibly might not win, you know. And he was making a good point, saying that, you know, if he was against Demetrius Andre or the Charlo, you know, that Canelo would like probably get knocked out or something like that is possible. But you know, it's a good fight. I would definitely enjoy it, sitting down watching it and see what he does, you know. And also, I want to say I always enjoy calling, and I never told you this, MD, but I like how like you try to make your point and you be very argumentative. Because honestly, I'm like that. I'm like that too. Like when it comes to certain stuff, like I'll sit there and I'll argue down, and I have to make my point. And sometimes I cut people off. So a lot of times when I be listening to the show, and people be like, "Oh, MD, he's an asshole, or he's a jerk, or he's stealing the time," and I'll be sitting there saying to myself, "Damn, if I was on the show, I'd probably be something like that too."
Thanks, man. I appreciate the the compliment.
Donald, man, thanks for calling in, brother. You know, before I let you go, actually, I want to ask you, in terms of the content, right? The more the merrier, or you know, because this was, I just want to report on everything individually. I feel like each thing deserves its own amount of time, right? Like you know, Breazeale and Szpilka, they may not be a main event, but we can make them a main event here on the show. But how more content is a thumbs up or thumbs down? What are we talking here?
What, thumbs up as far as on what?
I mean, do you want more, or do we need to keep? Do we need to just maintain a Thursdays and Sundays?
No, I want more. I mean, I like this. I like her because I like the show. I only have like 2 or 3 other people that I can talk to. Like I can talk to Gerald about boxing, and then I have like 2 other cousins that's really into boxing. But there's no one I could really call and talk about boxing who know what I'm talking about, who knows who the boxers is in the record and anything about boxing, so I can actually have a conversation. You know, it'll be more or less of me saying a whole bunch of stuff, and the person might know a little bit of something, but they won't know as much as enough to engage in the conversation. And that's what I like about the show, is that I actually get to call in and talk to people and hear stuff that who actually knows about boxing, who can actually engage in the conversation versus someone who's sitting listening but doesn't really know nothing, you know.
Definitely, man. All right. Well, thanks. And, you know, I'm conducting my own little survey, making sure we're not overdoing it on these parts. We're going to head on over to Arizona. 626. How do you like this heavyweight division mixing things up? Artur Szpilka, Dominic Breazeale on the Deontay Wilder, Andrew Warwick card in Alabama.
Yo, what's up, Nez? What's up, MD? I think it's a very intriguing fight. And I like the fact that y'all are reporting on it because it's an intriguing fight. You know, I would make the case that Dominic Breazeale, he's going to come out tougher from that Joshua fight, being that he sustained that punishment for 7 rounds. Only Dylan White had been in there for that long against Joshua. So I will make the case it'll make him a tougher fighter. And I think it speaks to the level of his toughness.
Hey,
he's a former quarterback.
The only reason that the only reason that I'm not 100% like on you with that like train of thought is because I saw what happened in the fight right before that when he fought Mansoor, and he didn't make him a tougher fighter when he came up to fight Joshua.
True. And he actually had a tough, controversial win against Cassie that was disputed. But I think he's still learning as a boxer. Being a former football player, he is a 6'7" man, so he needs to learn how to use his range a little better and use more of his power in spots. I think he's going to be the more tempered fighter in this fight. I don't know if it's going to get him the victory, but if he learns to use his range, he's going to have the reach advantage against a smaller Szpilka, and I think it's a big opportunity for him.
Well, all right, brother, man. Thanks for calling in. Actually, before I let you go, same question, man. Yay or nay on the content, more or less?
Definitely more, Nez. Y'all doing a good job, man. It's your boy Cantu from Cali. I'm gonna start calling a lot more. And hey, this is the boxing hotline, man. So keep it going.
All right, brother. Well, thanks for calling in, Cantu. Damn, I thought 626 was Arizona. I am all over the place. The fuck? See, this is why we need a producer. Can we get those thumbs up, ladies and gentlemen? I know that you need me to constantly say it, but yeah, we want you to hit the thumbs up button so that the number of people watching match the number of thumbs ups. That kind of means that you like the content, that you like discussing, you know, this content, right? Let's go to 504. Talk to us.
Hey, what's up, y'all? I definitely agree with you on the content, keeping it rolling. I just wish y'all would get a more steady time and pile all the topics up so we can have a conversation, because I didn't even know you popped one up and I got a late notification, so I'm calling in not knowing much was going on. Before the Artur fight and the Dominic fight, I just like the fact that the heavyweight division is getting more up and running. They seem to get a lot more competitiveness going on, other than just Andrzej Wawrzyk, Deontay Wilder, and the top names of the sport. So I do like it. However, I don't think none of them fighters could beat any of the top heavyweights at this moment. But I guess it's just something to keep the ball rolling or something like that.
So wait a minute. Let me get this straight here. You said you rather have less shows so that the topics pile up?
No, I said just get a certain time, because I just popped on my phone, got going on the road, then I said, a notification came to my phone and said that y'all had a show going on. I said that we was doing it every day, just give a designated time if possible.
Well, we have a designated Thursdays and Sunday show, and some of these breaking topic shows, it's due to, I guess, a level of interest and also availability for us to do the show. So, that's why you guys should join certain things like Patreon as well, because you get a better outline of kind of where we are with availability and those type of things. So you get a little advance on that.
Yeah. In our Patreon group there, we definitely put out notifications, early notifications night before, things like that, have discussions with with our Patreon members and kind of ask them what topics they want. So like MD said, Thursdays and Sundays is definitely always at 7 p.m. Eastern time, but in between that is always extra. So think of it like that. No, it cannot be on a designated time, simply because, MD has a life. I have my own. So it's kind of when everyone is available. But MD is always basically available. So we've been giving you as much as we can. So again, all you have to do now in return is hit that thumbs up button. But we're gonna go ahead and wrap this one up anyway. It's just a quick one. We just wanted to discuss this pretty good heavyweight fight, and we kind of want to do more topics like this, just more individualized news. It's especially if it merits it, and just bringing more content. But yeah, I'm your host, NesGTO. Find me on Twitter and Instagram at NesGTO. If you're watching this in the future, present, or past, hit that thumbs up button. Show your appreciation for the content you're receiving around here. You can follow the good doctor at.
You could follow me at BoxingMD1 on Twitter. Later, Ness.
Later.